Hi guys, Kinga here. How are you? In today's video, I would like to talk more about analytics. Some of you know I am very strict about analytics. The numbers are, to me, the most important when it comes to performance, because I believe that without understanding the numbers and knowing your numbers, you really cannot make any difference. It's just a guessing game. So last week I explained how we're setting up a custom report for A/B testing, and this week I would like to explain how I do a reporting for my clients. So not only that our team internally can see the performance and evaluate the performance, spot issues, and then come up with solutions, but also I think the client, I think it's easier for them to also see whether the account is growing or not, there are issues or not. So let me explain how I built my reporting. So obviously I start with exporting the data from Klaviyo campaigns analytics and putting it into one separate tab. And then we do the same for flows. So we're exporting everything and inserting into a second tab. I try to, it's a little tricky because obviously we're building new flows and old flows are being retired. So it's good to keep a tab here of kind of like how the flows are performing month over month. That also is a good indicator whether we need to tweak things or not, and whether things are actually growing or not. So these two tabs are obviously the most important. And then what we do is we put everything, we gather the data from these two tabs into this custom report, which I called averages. To me, this tab is actually the most important. I always start with the average tab to evaluate the month for each client. So I get information here from my email from Klaviyo, and then on the clients that have attentive, we're adding attentive here as well. And this way we can see the total, the running total for both apps, and it kind of gives us a better idea whether things are performing or not. So in this case, we can see that the account is growing month over month. I can see that between May and July there was a small drop, and by being able to look at these numbers right here, it's easier for me to see where to go and troubleshoot. So in this case, I would say 17,000. It was definitely less than the months, the last 2 months before. July was specifically high, but here I feel like, okay, there was a problem. Why we did 10,000 less than the months before. I would go in and analyze the campaigns in the Klaviyo tab, or I would go to Klaviyo dashboard. But then when I'm looking at flows, for example, in this case, I can see that everything is fine. For the sake of this example, I have 6,000 here, 14,000 here. Actually, no, I have 40,000 here and 16 here. So I would like question why this number is so low. I'll go now to my flows in April and start analyzing which flows underperformed. And with this breakdown here, I feel like it's much easier for me to see and remember whether we did some changes or what's happened, and see which actual flows underperformed here. So I can see right here, for example, that my browse abandonment was really low. And this will then, I go back and check why browse abandonment was low. What's happened? Did we do any changes? Or so it just basically gives us more of an idea and understanding, what could be wrong, where we need to concentrate, what we need to do to make the numbers better. In this case, when I'm looking at my numbers, they are actually growing. Maybe June was a little bit lower, but then July was very, very high. So I feel like we are trending up, and I'm happy with it. And then when I'm looking at attentive, I have it also broken down by automations and by total attentive, and also gives me an idea whether we're trending up or not. And I can see that March and June there were some issues, and so obviously I'll go in and I'll check right here, or I'll go into attentive analytics and see what happened that these numbers are sort of not in alignment. And then obviously I get all the totals for email and SMS for Klaviyo and attentive, running total on the bottom. So this is a spreadsheet. Like I said, we have it set up for every client and the clients have access to it. It's easy for us to identify problems. What I also like about it is that it's continuous from the very beginning when we start. How well we perform with particular client, we can see whether we're growing the account or not. And then, like I said, if if we can spot issues and see where we are going wrong, or we were going really well, and maybe we can repeat this somewhere else. So in any case, I hope that this video was helpful. I hope that gonna use it if you're not using a reporting spreadsheets right now. If you do have something that is better or can suggest some other solutions, I would love to hear and learn from you guys. So share a link, let me know, and join my Facebook group. We would love to discuss opportunities or reporting or whatever we do together. So feel free to join the group, and the link is below, and I hope to see you in my next video.